are on Kennesaw National Battlefield. Late June found the two armies falling back to this area. The Confederate Army of Tennessee had a 7-mile front anchored on Big Kennesaw Mountain off to my left, coming to Little and then Pigeon Hill, and then off to my right to an area that would become known as Cheatham Hill. But we're focusing here on Pigeon Hill. Facing the Confederates here were 3 federal armies: Army of the Tennessee, Army of the Ohio, and Army of the Cumberland, all under the overall command of William Sherman. Specifically in front of us are the trenches of Cockrell's Missouri Brigade. Facing Cockrell's Missouri Brigade, up the slopes you see before you, were Giles Smith's brigade. The Confederates began the fight with 60 rounds of ammunition per man. They quickly burnt through those while they were checking the advance of Smith. 2 volunteers were taken, the Irvin brothers. The only place more dangerous on the battlefield than in the trenches is at the top of the hill. The only place more dangerous than that is going over the top of the hill and then coming back over that same hill carrying ammunition. That is what these 2 brothers did to help the Missouri Brigade, and just in time too, I might add, for off to our left another federal brigade came up. That was that of Walcutt's brigade. Hotly pressed, Cockrell went to his commander French asking for help. Ector's brigade was pulled off to the right and came in here to this line to help reinforce Cockrell's Missourians. One federal veteran from the 55th Illinois who had fought at Vicksburg said that the fire and the terrain at Vicksburg were nothing compared to what he faced here on Pigeon Hill.
This is one of the plaques here on Pigeon Hill, and on this plaque is a George N. Barnard photograph. And what I find especially fascinating about this photograph showing Cockrell's trenches is this rock. And you may be saying, so what's interesting about a rock? Well, that rock is this rock right here that is in Cockrell's trenches. So what else I find fascinating besides this rock in these trenches is the fact that there were women soldiers in these trenches as well. There was at least one, with a distinct possibility of 2 or maybe even more women soldiers with Cockrell's vaunted Confederate brigade who would have been here during the Battle of Kennesaw Mountain, again specifically at Pigeon Hill. Additionally, with Ector's brigade that Mark talked about earlier, was another woman soldier with the 29th North Carolina, and these women with Cockrell and Ector would have served here undetected and would go on to fight at Battle of Allatoona Pass in October of 1864. So a few months later, and that is when they were discovered. But there were women soldiers standing somewhere here in these trenches that you see here at Pigeon Hill.
Oh, by the way, the Confederates held the ground here. The Confederates won here, not so much because of bravery, fire, and all that, because they knew exactly where they had to be. Thankfully, these signs told them where they had to be in the trenches so they could quickly find their place in line.